Folks, thank you for joining us again on The Juice. My name is Kyle Eason, founder of Inception Integrative Marketing. We have a special guest with us today. His name is Dave Bacon of BWBacon.
Thank you, Kyle.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
We're at Battery 621.
We were at Battery.
Don't we love it?
Hello, Battery.
It's a great environment. We've got dogs running around.
Yes.
And all kinds of activity, and that's the way it always is. There's a lot of fun at Battery.
Yep.
I want to talk a bit today about BWBacon and about maybe your background getting here to where you are today, and we'll get a little bit more into what is that special sauce that BWBacon has besides bacon, because I'm sorry, I had to come out with a bacon joke right away. But,
pretty bad joke.
Yeah, well, it's lame.
Let's
face it. So tell us about your background, Dave. How did you get here today? What are some of the highlights of your personal and professional life?
Well, I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, went to school at Syracuse in New York. Every summer I'd drive across the country, going back to live in Lake Tahoe, and drove across the country 8 times. And on my 8th journey, actually, so only 7.5, I was with a buddy of mine, and we stopped in Boulder. I was dropping him off. I was going to go back to San Francisco, and I just decided to stay. So that was 1996, and I've called Colorado home ever since. And I love it, certainly. I had a unique youth, if you will. Just growing up, I was an only child. My father was 75 years when he was 75 years old when I was born.
Wow.
So he was born in 1898. Yeah. I was born in 1973. Fun little fact.
That's
between
amazing.
My father, myself, and my son, each of us were born in a different century. And besides that being unique and whatnot, and interesting, obviously I grew up in the shadow of an old man as a father. He died when he was 91. I was 16. But he was a real American and artist. He was a composer, very well recognized composer. He won a Pulitzer Prize in 1932. And I can't talk about my dad without talking about my mom, of course. And my mom is still alive. She was 30 when I was born, so 45-year gap is pretty significant. Sans blue pill, I like to say, so to speak.
More power to your dad.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But I think about legacy often, and why we're here, what our purpose is, what's our vocation in life, and what this all means. Not to be altruistic and spiritual necessarily, but more because I just feel so fortunate just to be alive.
Yeah.
I won the sperm lottery in that respect, and the last name lottery too. Thanks, Dad. And but in all sincerity too, it's just what's this all for? What's it worth? And I've got this staffing company, and a lot of people are like, "Why'd you pick staffing?"
Yeah.
And because it's not artistic or musical necessarily, but I find a lot of joy in it. So does that answer your question?
I think we're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Good.
I want
sidetracked.
to. Yeah, no, that's an amazing personal story, and we're going to have to hear more about that. Probably not in this show, but in another episode, we'll come back to that for sure. I'm really curious now a bit more about, again, why a staffing company, and what is it about BWBacon that is special? What's your juice? What is that spark that maybe is transformative in a way? I don't know if that's saying too much, but how do you get your energy multiplied, you could say?
Well, actually, I'll go back to my family, and then particularly my mother. After my father passed away, and being very driven about, she wanted me to be a musician, and I play some guitar and piano, but in the absence of that, she was always like, what's your vocation? What is the most meaningful to you, and how do you break that down? And it dawned upon me that one of the things that I am made of, or one of the core things, is that it's important for me to bring the best out of other people.
Yeah.
I feel that if I bring good energy to them, I'm bringing the best out of them. I ask them deep questions about what they're made of or what their background's about. I'm better. I'm elevated because they are. And And I actually, I truly do mean that. And I find that in staffing, where we're working with entrepreneurs or high-level executives, and we're growing their companies and or teams, and on the flip side, we're also working with highly talented individuals, software engineers, creatives. We're in this world of bringing the best out of all of them. And so I think that's that's part of our special sauce, I guess, although I think it's less intentional than it is natural. It's just part of who we are.
Yeah.
So we're not best with bacon, like we don't profess to be the best.
Yeah.
We're better with bacon, and so we just try to, be better and bring the best part out of people, and that's making us better. So does that make sense?
It
A little
does.
bit?
It does, yeah. I mean, it's inspiring, actually. I mean, to me, to hear that as the central motivation for a company, that's a great sort of mission to have. And that brings me to another question, like what's your vision for BWBacon going forward? And it could be from anything from what's next for you or to what do you see in the next 2 to 5 to 10 years? Do you have a grand vision of some kind?
Yeah. Well, that's a loaded question, Kyle.
I'm hitting you hard. I'm hitting you real
over
hard.
here, you can see that we're all about connecting people and building better teams and making recruiting a rewarding experience.
We're going to have an image of that.
We could put an image up there. The Public Works put that together.
Yeah.
Great. But I'm asked that all the time. Do I have an exit plan? Or what is the future of recruiting, or what's the future of Better with Bacon? And the answer is both certain and ambiguous at the same time.
Intrigued.
Yes. The thing is I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah.
This creates both consistent motivation and disruption at the same time. As much as I want to work on my business, I get sucked into the business all the time too, because I love it. I love being in the heart of it. I love trying to figure things out at that granular level. And by granular, when I'm talking about people and teams, I'm talking about their emotions, and I'm talking about what makes them tick, and that takes this full circle, that virtuous circle of what brings the best out of them. And so I want to keep going in this space. Recruiting and staffing is changing rapidly, like many service industries, with the forces of AI, with all the different ways that people can connect with each other, with just with the marketplace itself.
Yeah.
And that creates challenges for us as much as opportunities.
Yeah.
And to me, there's always going to be room for that white glove service, that super tight connection to where taking these types of deals full circle it's incumbent that someone like us is there. There's always room for that kind of help, and so there's hope in that respect, and so. I know that I will be a part of some type of people services, professional services on the ongoing basis. More specifically, since those were more big things, how do I break that down? We've done a kick-ass job in Colorado. I attribute that to my team. I'm an empty promise without them. They're all over there. Yay, team! And they're all busy, but we work with some of the most interesting, compelling, highly driven entrepreneurs and companies in Colorado. And just because we live here does not make it easy to grow these companies. They seek out engineers who are highly coveted by everywhere in the country, if not the world, and there's just not an abundance of them. And but since we have done such a good job here, why can't we do that elsewhere? Strategically, I'd like to do that in cities or areas that have great mountains, since I'm a longtime skier, or oceans, since I'm a new surfer. But
can you name the locations or no?
Well, Salt Lake is a great area. They've got incredible mines out there and a lot of really substantive companies. Like Denver, I think they're right there with us in a different way. But also Seattle. I'm from the Bay, and obviously the Bay is Silicon Valley, but we've actually found a lot of traction there just recently, where I think that companies there, and actually more so the talent there, finds that like when a Colorado recruiter is calling them, they're kind of like, huh? Like, what, like, why, what? And you're representing a company in the Bay? Like, why? Like, what, like, what's up with that? And they seem to want to work with us even more than their own
They're
homebred.
intrigued,
Yeah. So regionally, we want to move. And then, I consider, or I shouldn't say move, grow. And then otherwise, from an industry, from a vertical standpoint, we're a technology staffing company. What other areas naturally unfold without turning us into a sort of a jack of all trades, master of none type of shop? I don't want to be everything to everybody, but it's natural for us to do perhaps technology sales along with tech, or we're already doing a lot in the creative space, UX and design, but can we do more of that? But there's so many opportunities and areas to go.
Yeah.
That's a long-winded answer.
Well, your joy is contagious.
Okay.
I'm feeling it.
Thank you. Good.
There's,
So yours.
hey, what can I say? Hopefully our audience is feeling it. I think it'd be interesting to see what kind of comments we have coming back for this 2018 season for the Juice.
Yeah.
And this has been a lot of fun. I think the only question I have left would be, why battery? You've been here a long time. What's battery all about?
I mean, I feel like battery as a structure with 4 walls and a roof and a killer rooftop. If the physicality of a space and a structure can bring the best out of people, this place has done that for us. I think that it's almost like when you meet someone and through the forces of serendipity and you see the good in them and you want to hire them. I feel like I saw that in Battery as a structure 6 years ago, and through a bunch of different relationships, I ended up moving in from my home basement to the basement here, and things just started taking off with our company, and then we had an opportunity to move to this space over here to my left, which formerly was the Icelandic ski space, and I'm a big skier. I've got like 6 pairs of Icelandics, so it feels like this natural place for us to be, and so it's just the energy within the building. We all feed off of each other, and there's a certain what I'll call intimacy here, where there's like this instant intimacy. We have trust in each other. We can work with each other. We can get right into being who we are and being natural and having fun and working with what we do.
I've heard that from other tenants.
Nobody that works here is they're not. No one's forcing their hand to walk in the door. I mean, we're willingly walking in here, and we're happy for it. So
something folks haven't talked about yet, I think, is maybe the location within the city. Well, how do you feel about that?
I think that's really interesting, because there's so many awesome things going on in the city at large. Certainly, in you look at the Rhino area, or you look at Highlands, or just downtown. Or I'm from the
all close by here.
All close by, and then I'm in Wash Park, and actually that's all close by. Actually, relatively everything's pretty close by, especially coming from the Bay Area. And I think this area, this broad area in the Santa Fe Arts District, Mariposa over there, it hasn't gotten ahead of itself yet, and it's still got this gritty, attribute. We got the railroad tracks over there. We got no buildings in our way. I can see the sunset from Pikes Peak to Longs Peak. I can see the city right there. The 25's right there, 6's right there. So we have an amazing proximity, and I love walking into some of the restaurants around here, some of the art galleries and
breweries.
They've been around. The breweries are starting to pop up here, and it's just it's natural. It's gritty. It might not be as hip as some other areas, but that's why for me it makes me feel right at home.
I like it. Gritty is the word, definitely.
Yep.
All right, you know what? We killed it. We killed it.
That was fast.
That was it.
Yes. Don't go changing, everyone.
Better with Bacon, Dave Bacon.
Thanks, Kyle.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Seize the day.
That's
every
the
day.
juice.